Thomas Nichols, also known as Doc and Turturn, of Chamfleur St. David, who resided at Dudmar St. David, transitioned in peace on May 18, 2022, at the age of 84. Left to cherish his wonderful memory are his children Najuma Salfali and Nadine Sylvester, residing in the USA, Marlene Antwine, Eric Greenwich, Samantha Prime, Anika Greenwich, Shada Joseph, and stepdaughter Jacqueline Greenwich. Siblings Jean Hazard, Peter Nichols, Claude Nichols, Alexander Nichols, Francis Lett, Ruby Lett, Verda Latouche, Irma George, Jean Licorice, and adopted brother Alvin St. Bernard. Grandchildren Danica Greenwich, Eli Prime, Nadra Sylvester, Nalia Givens, Madison Salfali, Brad Greenwich, Paige Greenwich, Nadel Sylvester, Sasha Victor, Damali Antwine, Tyler Salfali, Erica Antwine, Suraj Victor, Anna Antwine, Sathira Victor, Terran Antwine, and Enva Antwine. Many great-grands, nieces and nephews, including Eva Hazard, Carvel Lett, Kizzy Gabriel, Gretel Bishop, Nigel Hazard, Ron Lett, and sons-in-law. Many other relatives and friends, including the Hazard family of Chamfleur and Mount Tranquil, the Nichols and Lett families of Dudmar, the Peters family at Modern Photo Studios, Ann Booker, Irma Joseph, Claudia Bishop, Vassie Jones, Jennifer Robinson, Myrna Joseph, Julian Ogilvie, Lorna Snag, the matron, staff and residents of Chichester's Nursing Home and the Grand Aunts Home for the Aged, members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church Corinth, including Terry Charles and family, and Janelle Charles and family, and friends at Cooperative Bank, the NIS, the Ministries of Works and Health, and the draft players on the terminal. The funeral of the late Thomas Nichols, also known as Doc and Turturn of Chamfleur St. David, who resided at Dudmar St. David, will take place on Wednesday, June 8th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. David Seventh-day Adventist Church, Corinth, and interment will be at the Windsor Forest Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Ruth Lynn Veronica St. Bernard of Barot St. David, retired police officer attached to the police tailor shop, passed away on Wednesday, 25th May 2022, at the age of 66. She was the mother of Tabani Dominic, grandmother of Taraji Dominic, sister of Anne, Terrace, Margaret, and Danielle, also known as Dano, mother-in-law of Irvin Dominic, niece of Catherine, Magdalene in the USA, Anselm in Canada, and Winston in Grenada, aunt of Nikisha, Daniela, Kanisha, Monique, Carice, Cindy, Deborah, Wendell in Canada, and Jeffrey, several grandnieces and nephews. Other cousins, relatives, and friends including Andrea, Victor Thomas, also known as Bread, Richard, Trevor Modeste, Pastor Selwyn Haling, and members of the Garden of Prayer Sanctuary, Pastor Laurie Dominic, and members of Westerhall New Testament Church of God, First Baptist Church, Barot, the St. Bernard family in Grenada and Trinidad, the Cruikshank family, the Dominic family of Laurelland, the Latouche family of Mount Airy, the management and staff of Republic Bank, and the Royal Grenada Police Force Tailor Shop, and friends and neighbours of Barot and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Ruth Lynn Veronica St. Bernard of Barot St. David will take place on Wednesday, June 8th at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Garden of Prayer St. Paul's, and entombment will be at the Mount Airy Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Kimon Eric Kaloni Rishon Bell, also known as Bell, of Woburn St. George, died on Sunday, April 24, 2022, at the age of 22. He was the son of Kimberly Bell and Carlson George, grandson of Margaret Bell and Kenneth Bernard, brother of Kemal Bell, Blossom, Joanna, Isis, and Kia George, nephew of Paula, Mondel, Sion and Antonio Bell, Janelle, Avalon and Jamal Bernard, Troy Sandiford and Russell Nash, Carol, Terry, Sherlyn, Alvin, Roland, Ronnie, Rowlett and Carl George, and Taryn Franklin, all in the USA. Grandnephew of Dr. Dunstan Campbell and Mrs. Beverly Campbell, Clara and Thomas Bell, and Yvonne Bartholomew. Cousin of Shaquana Charles, Brianna, Brian, William and Sky Bell, Aidan Coutain, Caden Sandiford, Denroy Jr., Jamie, Aria, Anita, Surana, Devril, Siobhan, Tira, Terence, Malika and Nicole George. Other relatives and friends: Ashley Ashton, Karen Tika, Kojak, Andel Philip, Marcus Samuel, Vaughn D. Joseph, Aben, CJ, Razad, Kitana, Mariam, Kellon Sandy, Nadia Victor of Happy Hill, the Nimrod family of Woburn, the Bernard family of Mountrich, the George family of Grove, the Bell family of Woburn, St. George's and Grandaunts, the Bell, George, Taryn and Franklin families in the USA, the United Kingdom and Canada, and many other relatives and friends of Woburn, Grove and Grandaunts. The funeral of the late Kimron Eric Keloni Rishon Bell, also known as Bell of Woburn St. George, will take place on Wednesday, June 8th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Grenada Trade Center, and interment will be at the Family Cemetery, Woburn. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Simon Thomas, also known as Kajo, of Frequenty St. George, passed away on Thursday, 7th April 2022, at the age of 60. He was the father of Natalie Hippolyte, grandfather of Kalisha and Naisha Hippolyte, brother of Gillian, Cynthia, Joan, Mary, Marva, Sonia, Maria, and Bernard, nephew of Gertrude, uncle of many including Tafari, Timothy, Samuel, Todd, Denver, Tyrrell, Jamel, Tasha, Manta, Tersha, Ariel, Joan, Manda, Kira, Jared, Jamila, Sheldon, Karen, and Kelsey. Many other relatives and friends including Denise, Rhonda, Miss Carol, Miss Jeanette, Pastor Damien and family, the Charles family, Pamela, the management and staff of SGU, and friends and neighbors of Frequenty and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Simon Thomas, also known as Kajo, of Frequenty St. George, will take place on Wednesday, 8th June at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Grand Aunts Baptist Church, Morris Bishop Highway, and interment will be at Grand Aunts St. George. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Mary Joyce Licorice, also known as Mercy, of Providence St. David, passed away on Friday, 13th May 2022, at the age of 90. She was the mother of Agatha Licorice in the USA, Paul Francis, Martin and Teresa Licorice, Matthew Licorice, also known as Warrell, Raphael, Althea, and Nigel Licorice. Grandmother of 29, including Akira Phillip, Shakira Bain, Tyrone Licorice, Nikki Licorice, Ronell Thomas, Naisha, Liston Brazan, Dane Licorice, and Shane, also known as Fire. Great-grandmother of 25, including Ativa, Kelsey, Shakim, Haley, Dania and Javion. Sister of Doris Licorice, Cynthia Licorice, Hamilton Licorice, and John Licorice in Trinidad. Mother-in-law of Keisha Licorice, Frances Hagley and Mikey Etienne. Grandmother-in-law of Abigail Charles, Danielle Licorice, Neon Kenny Bain, and Jadon Phillip. Aunt of many, including Merlin and Janice Telesford. Many other relatives and friends, including Pastor Casimir Thomas and family, and members of the Independence Baptist Church, Providence, the Licorice family of Corinth, Providence, Pedmotar, and Marigot, Dr. Devon Francis, Dr. John Lane, Miss Vero, Miss Earls, Paulina and family, the Francis family of Annandale, Celia Thomas and family of Latante, and friends and neighbors of Monrepo, Providence, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Mary Joyce Licorice, also known as Mercy, of Providence St. David, will take place on Thursday, June 9th at 1:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. David's Catholic Church, Petite Esperance, and interment will be at the St. David's Catholic Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
James W. Jr. Nicholson, also known as Zanky, of St. Joel's Street, St. George, passed away on Friday, 10th May, at the age of 67. He was the son of Joycelyn Nicholson, brother of Everett, Michael, Lester, Neil, and Nigel Nicholson, Sharon, Yvonne, Lisa, and Pamela in the USA, Kathleen Pitt Mark, uncle of many including Jim and Chanel, also known as Boogie. Other relatives and close friends including friends and neighbors of St. Joel's Street, Four Roads, and surrounding areas. The funeral service of the late James W. Jr., also known as Zanky Nicholson, of St. Joel's Street, St. George, will take place on Thursday, 9th June at 11 a.m. Funeral service will be held at the Garden of Remembrance Funeral Chapel, Cemetery Hill, St. George, according to Spiritual Baptist rites. Interment will be at the St. George's Center Cemetery. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Walden Philip of Beauséjour, who resided at Frequenty St. George, passed away on Sunday 22nd May 2022 at the age of 36. He is survived by his parents Augustine Venice Philip and Sandra Cornwall Bowen, children Vashon Philip and Amanda Marcel, grandfather John Jones residing in the United Kingdom, siblings Vanol, Verndale, and Valerie Philip, Londa Bailey, Venica Patrick, Nakitha Noel, and Sakiria Smith. Several aunts and uncles, Lynthia Philip Johnson, Dolores Philip, Jennifer Castle, Wendy Philip, Agnes Lewis, Margaret Jones in the United Kingdom, Presley Philip, Dexter Joseph, Augustine Jules in Trinidad, and Kelvin Jones in the United Kingdom. Many other relatives and close friends, including Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, Harville and Twine, Curtis Bowen, Eunice Sandy David, Merrill Charles and family, the Grenada Patient Kidney Foundation, the management and staff of the Dialysis Clinic, the management and staff of the General Hospital, the GBSS class of 2003, and friends and neighbours of Beauséjour, Frequenty and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Walden Philip of Beauséjour, who resided at Frequenty St. George, will take place on Thursday, 9th June at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Happy Hill Open Bible Church, according to Seventh-day Adventist rites, and interment will be at the Top Fen Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Agnes Lashington Nee Jones, also known as Miss Vero, Lashy, or Miss Baltazar of Grand Roy St. John, who resided at Birchgrove and Baltazar St. Andrew, passed away on Thursday, 12 May, at the age of 90, left to mourn her children, Darwin, Juanita, Dennis, and Christiana Lashington, Donnery Frank, Dawn Walker, all in Grenada, and Carol Lashington Humphrey in Canada. Her nieces, Sarah Rogers in the USA, Enza Jones, Nervis Jones in Grenada, Cheryl and Hannah Jones in the USA, and Mavis in Canada, Jackie and Judith in Trinidad. Her nephews, Enoch and Henson Jones in Grenada, Kenneth Jones in the UK. Sons-in-law, Augustine Humphrey, Rawl Walker, and Kenneth Frank. Grandmother of 15 including Keldonna Washington Roberts, Raldon, Alex, Corel and Colette Walker, Maurice and Sean Humphrey, Dimitrov, Chrislyn, Denzel, Katian, and Kamal Lashington, Nikita Lashington Leslie, Jelani and Lexi, great-grandmother of 3 including Chantel Lashington, many grandnieces and nephews including Pearlin Francis in the USA, caregivers Hazelyn St. Louis and Roxy Blake, friends Sister Almira Taylor, Lynette Alexander, many other relatives and friends including Dr. Hensley Batiste, tourist vendors and taxi operators of the Bruce Street Mall, Esplanade, families Lana McPhail families, Jones, Hackett, Toussaint, McEwen, Lashington, Baltazar, Collins, families of Montplaisir, Grand Roy and Douglas family of Black Bay, Humphrey family, Renwick families of Birchgrove, Janice Charles and family, Rogers and Bowen families of St. Cloud's, Baltazar, Friends and neighbors of Birchgrove, St. Cloud, Baltazar, Maribor, Byland, Grand Roy, and friends and neighbors of the surrounding communities. Many other relatives and friends, too numerous to mention. The funeral service of the late Agnes Lashington nee Jones, also known as Miss Pharaoh, Lashy, or Miss Baltazar of Grand Roy St. John, who resided at Birchgrove and Baltazar St. Andrew, will take place on Thursday, 9th June at 1 p.m. and tributes at 12 noon. The funeral service will be held at the St. Matthew's Roman Catholic Church, St. Andrew, and interment at the St. Rose Cemetery. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Walter Henry Ogilvie of Telescope St. Andrew died on Sunday, 22nd May 2022, at the age of 81. He was the husband of Anne, father of Mercedes, Ellis, Marvin, and Lucinda, brother of Dunbar, Anne, Lucy, Cicely, Dolores, Selwyn, Hudson, Evelyn, William, Beatrice, Vilma, Pauline, and Joan, grandfather of 4, father-in-law of Nisha, Michael, Sabrina, and Lennox, his caregiver Marilyn Lewis. Many relatives and friends including the Ogilvie, Snack, Ashby, Andrews, James and Marshall families, members of the People of Praise, Cursillo, Men's League, and SJC Associates, the parish priest and parishioners of St. Andrew the Apostle RC Church, and the community of Telescope and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Walter Henry Ogilvie of Telescope St. Andrew will take place on Thursday, June 9th at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Andrew the Apostle RC Church, Grenville, and interment will be at the Grand Bras Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Philemon Jeffrey, also known as Philo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Riversally St. Patrick, member of the Legion of Mary of St. Vincent de Paul Society, passed away on Saturday, 7th May 2022, at the age of 88. She was the mother of Merlin, Raymond and Glendora Jeffrey, Jessie Smith, Kim Peters, and McKenny Barry, grandmother of 14, great-grandmother of 10, sister of Veronica, also known as Lillian, Alton, also known as Joseph, and Georgie Dorset, aunt of many including Cleon, Chanel, Alicia, Cindy, Nathalie, Martha James, and Christopher Alexander. In-laws Fitzroy Smith, Nolan Peters, Selwyn Salem, and Randolph Scott. Cousin of Marjorie Dorset, Anita Batiste and family, Jocelyn Peters and family, the Dunbar and Batiste families of Tivoli, the John family of Conference, the Steele family of Grenville, Lillian Jeffrey, Norbrika Roberts, and Martin Dorset. Many other relatives and close friends including Florinese George and family, Ambrosona Sylvester, Teresa Oliver and family, Teresa Charles and family, the Jeffrey and John families of Riversally, Effin John, the priest and parishioners of the Holy Family RC Church, and friends and neighbors of Riversally, La Poterie, Tivoli, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Philemon Jeffrey, also known as Philo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Riversally St. Patrick, will take place on Thursday, 9th June at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Holy Family RC Church, Riversally St. Patrick, and entombment will be at the Riversally Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Erlin Sylvester Francis, also known as Dove and Whoop, of Thebaid St. David, retired District Revenue Officer, passed away on Tuesday, 24th May 2022, at the age of 84. He was the husband of Valerie Francis, father of 2, grandfather of Hannah, Nathan, Mark Anthony, Seymour, and Ariane Francis, father-in-law of Sebi and Lorraine Francis, brother of John Francis, Pearl Thompson, Irene Snack, and Olive Lancaster. Many brothers and sisters-in-law, several nieces and nephews, other relatives and friends including the Francis, Hagley, Sharp, and Perrott families, Paula Celestine, Sane, Bruzo, and Sil McCuffey, Tango, the matron and staff of the St. Martin's Home for the Aged, Father Edward Mark and the Anglican community of St. David, and friends and neighbours of St. David. The funeral of the late Erlin Sylvester Francis, also known as Dove and Whoop, of Thebaid St. David, will take place on Friday, June 10th at 10 a.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. David's Anglican Church, Petite Esperance, and interment will be at the Anglican Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Kelson Donshane Raphael John, also known as Kello, and Shaba of River Sally St. Patrick, resided in the USA, passed away on the 10th of May at the age of 44. Left to mourn are his mother, Janice John, and his father, Robert Joseph, brothers Addison, Edward Jr., Hayden, and Dillon. His sisters, Abigail and Danielle, also known as Dindin. 2 daughters, Kelly's and Kellette, and a loving pet, Sasha. His fiancée, Georgette. Aunts and uncles, Mary, Linda, Ursuline, Christine, Nixon, and Ernest. Nieces and nephews, Avery, Zayla, Dominique, and Hunter. Cousins, Adonis, Carson, Keisha, Marcus, Jeanette, Ronnie, Ashley, Josephine, Edris, Satara, Destiny, Nakim, Judith, Ozra, Maria, Vadu. Godparents, Diana Hille and David Simon. Other relatives and friends including mother of the oldest daughter, Denise, also known as Nissy, Velma and family, Atkins and family, Maggie, Brittany, and the Wells family. His best friend, Natisha, Kim, Seagull, Miss D, Oliver Wellington, Denroy Gordon. Many more friends and family, both in Virginia, New York, and Grenada, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Kelson Donshane Raphael John will take place on Friday, 10th June at 1 p.m. The funeral service will be held at the River Sally RC Church, St. Patrick, and the interment at the River Sally Cemetery, St. Patrick. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Cynthia Horsford, also known as Auntie Cinty, of Belle Isle St. David, who resided at Grand Bacalet St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, 16th May, at the age of 84. She was the mother of Anselm, Rawl, and Desmond Horsford, Dexter and Ian Frederick, Patsy Charles, Rachel Mitchell, Deborah and Desiree Frederick, grandmother of 30 including Samaran Bola, Derisha Frederick, Giselle Frederick, Kieron, Carisha Selwyn Horsford, John Swift, Donna Tika, Rolando Horsford, Kenisha Mitchell, Denson Frederick, and Chevron in the USA, great-grandmother of 20, sister of Crossley and John Horsford, aunts of many in Grenada, Trinidad, and the USA including Gillian Horsford, Judy Horsford, and Colin Charles, and their siblings Jacinta, Joycelyn, and Annette, Neil, and Janelle. Mother-in-law of Cynthia and Sharon Horsford, Naomi Frederick, Kennedy Mitchell, Finba Charles, Stephen Lewis, Derek Thompson. Sister-in-law of Joan Horsford. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Ann Charles, Mavis McQueen, Mr. Sidney, Jerry Bowler, Atiba Hille, the Horsford family of Windsor Forest and Belle Isle, the Cornwall family of St. Paul's, Edwards family of Tivoli, Lynch family of Lamode, Telesford family of St. David, Leo Horsford and family, pastor and members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, St. David, friends and neighbors of Grand Bacalet, Belle Isle, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Cynthia Agatha Horsford, also known as Auntie Cinty of Belle Isle, St. David, who resided at Grand Bacalet, St. Andrew, will be held on Tuesday, 14th June at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Corinth, and the interment at the St. David Cemetery. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Louis Amos Rouse, also known as Silvo and Big Bus, of Westerhall, St. David, who resided at Calivini, St. George, a well-known bus driver of Richmond Hill, Munjaloo and Marion bus route, past president of Zone 3 and the National Bus Association, transitioned this life on Tuesday, 24th May, at the age of 60. He survived by his wife, Claudette Rose, daughter, Claudicia Rose, granddaughter, Chloe Rose, brother, Ronald Teddy Simon, sisters, Hannah Rose, Sargent in Barbados, and Ruth Rose, uncles, Julian Rose in the USA, George Simon in the USA, Michael Rose in the UK, stepmother, Beryl Rose, sisters-in-law, Denise Simon, Maureen Oxley, Esther Otterly, Heather Graves, brother-in-law, Winston Hines, aunt-in-law, Maureen Simon, and Rhoda Rose in the USA, nieces and nephews, Karen, Keith, Kendra, Keisha, Carlos, Damarisa, stepsisters, Patsy, Michelle, and Rachel, close relatives including Carl Rose, Dennis Rose in the UK, George Andrew, USA, Carriacou, Sammy, Sharon, Susan Simon in the USA, Mava Primus Joseph, close friends including Christopher Gale, Ralph Gatz, Neil Moore, Raymond Pivot, Jason Wilson, and Desmond Thompson. Other relatives and friends including the Rose, Simon, Aki, Joseph, Cloudin, Moore, Watson, families of Wester Hall, Marion, Calivini, and abroad, neighbors of Calivini, Wester Hall, and surrounding areas, members of the Calivini Gospel Hall, and Brethren Assemblies of Grenada, regionally and internationally, members of staff of the former Grenada Sugar Factory, Zone 3 bus drivers and National Bus Association, members of the Grenada Patient Kidney Foundation and the Kidney Support Group, management and staff of the Island Health Services Dialysis Clinic, the dedicated doctors and nurses at the General Hospital, especially the male medical ward, nephrology and oncology departments. The Thanksgiving service for the life of the late Louis Amos Rose, also known as Silvo and Big Bus, will be held on Wednesday, 15th June at 2 p.m. The service will take place at the Calivini Gospel Hall, Calivini, Marion Junction, and the entombment at the Monjaloo Cemetery. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Elaine Cynthia Lockhart, née Crawford, of Summit St. Paul, St. George, who resided in Trinidad, passed away on Tuesday, 31st May, at the age of 78. She was the wife of Norman Keith Lockhart, mother of Steve Crawford and Eugene Crawford in Grenada, Rachel Crawford in the USA, grandmother of Kira McSween and Jada Crawford, sister of Earl Crawford, also known as Kiski, Elvira Crawford, Jean Crawford, and Daphne Crony, mother-in-law of Kim and Erling Crawford, sister-in-law of Patricia Crawford, aunt of many including Will Cox Roberts, Suan Crawford, Tracy Crony, Susie Crawford, Peter Lockhart, Mackie, Eric, Kenrick, Selwyn, Hillary, Wendy, and Brian. Other relatives and friends including Patsy Gibbs, friends and neighbors of St. Paul's and Grandad's Housing Scheme, and the Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses in Grenada and Trinidad. A memorial service for the late Elaine Cynthia Lockhart, née Crawford, of Summit St. Paul, St. George, who resided in Trinidad, will be announced at a later date. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Martin Phillip of Crowshoe St. Andrew passed away on Wednesday, 1st June, at the age of 71. The funeral of the late Martin Phillip of Crowshoe St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Sylvan Winston McLeod, also known as Nolan, of 6 Roads, Carriacou, passed away on Saturday, 4th June, at the age of 79. The funeral of the late Sylvan Winston McLeod of 6 Roads, Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Eric Dunstan Charles, former Assistant Comptroller of Customs of St. Mary's Road, Grenville, formerly of Brushgrove, St. Andrew, passed away on Thursday, 2nd June. The funeral service for the late Eric Dunstan Charles, former Assistant Comptroller of Customs of St. Mary's Road, Grenville, who resided at Brushgrove, St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Hugh Thomas, also known as Word, of Concord St. John, who resided at Chantymel St. Patrick, passed away on Tuesday 31st May 2022 at the age of 85. The funeral arrangements for the late Hugh Thomas, also known as Word, of Concord St. John, who resided at Chantymel St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Leadon Patrick John of Diego Peace, who resided at Samaritan St. Mark, passed away on Thursday 26th May 2022. The funeral arrangements for the late Leadon Patrick John of Diego Peace, who resided at Samaritan St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Rosanna Evans, also known as Linda Batiste of Soubise St. Andrew, passed away on Sunday 29th May 2022 at the age of 87. The funeral arrangements for the late Rosanna Evans, also known as Linda Batiste of Soubise St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. James Hilaire, also known as J-Boy and Jamesy Boy, of Hermitage St. Patrick, who resided at River Road, St. George, passed away on Friday 27th May 2022 at the age of 86. The funeral arrangements for the late James Hilaire, also known as J-Boy and Jamesy Boy of Hermitage St. Patrick, who resided at River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Alistair Thompson, also known as Witcho of Caliste St. George, passed away on Tuesday 31st May 2022 at the age of 70. The funeral arrangements for the late Alistair Thompson, also known as Witcho of Caliste St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Elizabeth Bowen Dumont, also known as Mammy's Sister, of Byland St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, May 30th, 2022, at the age of 89. The funeral arrangements for the late Elizabeth Bowen Dumont, also known as Mammy's Sister, of Byland St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. James Merrydale Croft, also known as Funny Man, of Park Lane, St. David, passed away on Thursday 19th May 2022 at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late James Merrydale Croft, also known as Funny Man, of Park Lane, St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Adela Leonard, also known as Awu, of Marquis St. Andrew, owner of Dell's Closet in Grenville, died on May 22, 2022, at the age of 34. The funeral arrangements for the late Adela Leonard, also known as Awu, of Marquis St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Evangeline Adeltris Batiste, also known as Dello, of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Monday 23rd May 2022 at the age of 83. The funeral arrangements for the late Evangeline Adeltris Batiste, also known as Dello, of New Hampshire St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Jasper Anthony Griffith of Barbados, who resided at Mount Pleasant Carriacou and in Brooklyn, New York, passed away on Saturday 14th May 2022 at the age of 67. The funeral arrangements for the late Jasper Anthony Griffith of Barbados, who resided at Mount Pleasant Carriacou and in Brooklyn, New York, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Claudia Mary Phillip, née Brown, also known as Chiney Phillip, of Seamoon, who resided at Grand Bras St. Andrew, passed away on Friday, May 20th, 2022, at the age of 71. The funeral arrangements for the late Claudia Mary Phillip, née Brown, also known as Chiney Phillip, of Seamoon, who resided at Grand Bras St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Deron Francis of Crowshoe St. Andrew passed away on Thursday, 19th May 2022, at the age of 37. The funeral arrangements for the late Deron Francis of Crowshoe St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Shirley Myrtle Outram of Victoria St. Mark passed away on Friday, 13th May 2022, at the age of 95. The funeral arrangements for the late Shirley Myrtle Outram of Victoria St. Mark will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Anne Coutin of La Fortune St. Patrick passed away on Monday, 16th May, at the age of 62. The funeral of the late Anne Coutin of La Fortune St. Patrick will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Shaman Buckmeyer of Birchgrove St. Andrew died on Sunday, May 8th, 2022, at the age of 9. The funeral arrangements for the late Shaman Buckmeyer of Birchgrove St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Geraldine Victor née Elcock of Mardi Gras St. David, who resided at Molinaire St. George, died on Wednesday, May 4th, 2022 in Kentucky, USA, at the age of 63. The funeral arrangements for the late Geraldine Victor née Elcock of Mardi Gras St. David, who resided at Molinaire St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
The Bible, this book, familiar to every person on the face of the earth today, gives us directions for our life. When death comes, there is great sorrow to the family and friends and loved ones of the one that has passed on. But if we put our trust in the Lord Jesus Christ and we follow the instructions of this book, we know we will meet again. We don't take it lightly. We don't take it for granted. There must be a decision, because without a decision, the decision is made to be separated from God. So put your trust in the Lord. Believe. The thief on the cross said, Lord, consider me. And Jesus said, today you would be with me, this very hour. And they died together. So put your trust in the Lord, and God bless you during your time of grief and bereavement. Put your trust in the Lord.